Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So this week has been a bit of a mess so far. Tails to the upside, tails to the downside. We did drop below this trend line that we were looking at, but we've basically got above it again. We do have a crossover pointing down, which is indicating we should be looking for something to the downside. And if I look at the daily, you can see we've got a strong grouping here, but we've also got a strong crossover of the moving averages. I would prefer a pullback, to be honest, and before we start looking to go with a trend, which is potentially to the upside right now, this is very typical of trend reversals. It's not always easy to move a train. So at the moment, you'll see this trend line is broken and we're busy testing it. So quite simple bit of structure here. I'm just going to drop the 15 minutes to highlight this one. So that's my trend line, that's my attempt at testing the break of the trend line. You can see it happened yesterday and we're trying to do it again. So ultimately we start dropping below 103.597 and 103.550. So break and retest that zone. You're looking for a continuation to the downside, and I think you're probably going to be held up by this level down here, which would be at 102.737. That all makes sense. Oscillators lining up with that, a lot of it making sense. But then again, you know, if it stays in this area and we finish the week like this, that is going to be another weekly bar, probably a range bar, but you can see you've got some weekly levels. So the level that we're looking at for it to break and retest is a strong weekly level. So you can see that right there, 103.550. So if the weekly bar closes above that, that's going to seem by an opportunity for bulls to pretty much target this next swing low up here, which would be 106.364. So lots going on at the moment. Not entirely sure I want to get involved in it just yet. We are ranging this week, so this little zone here is important to pay attention to. If it holds today, then that's a weekly close above it. If it does not hold, then that's a rejection, and then that's going to open up for shorts. Just bear in mind you've got a short week next week with Thanksgiving, so expect a bit more chaos, I would say. Moving on to US dollar, Japanese yen, same thing. I mean, we've been sideways, tails to the upside, tails to the downside, really no structure. Oscillators starting to group, or separate, should I rather say, which is starting to indicate that we should expect a continuation to the downside. If this plays out that way, then Euro USD is going to play out to the upside. It's just indicating that we have dollar weakness coming in. So looking at the 1 hour, we are sideways. And here we have a different story, don't we? We've got a trend line, we've got a break of it and a retest. If this retest holds, then I would expect us to try and attempt to get through 140.765 and then probably continue the next bit of structure a little bit here, very little bit there, but I think the bulk of the structure is going to be up there. So now break through this zone here is going to set us in motion for a continuation back up here, which is going to be dollar strength. So to be quite frank, until we break one of these two levels on this range, so in other words the upside or the downside, I'm sitting on the side. I don't trust what we're seeing right now. Moving on to pound and British pound, Japanese yen, we're still very much in this channel. It is just squeezing tighter and tighter. We're in amongst the moving averages now. Oscillators grouped to the upside. Something is brewing here, that's for sure. Whether it's going to play out today or next week is another story. But if you look at the hour, you can see yesterday above the moving average, below the moving averages. We've got crossover of the moving averages at the moment. So another area to be pretty cautious. So if you look at 166.354, that is the key level at the moment. You can see we sort of touched it yesterday, bounced off it, and then we closed above it. So we hold this area, you're looking at a move potentially to the upside. I would pay attention to London breakout strategy here. So first 8 1 hour bars, draw your range in that. If we drop below 166354, then you might as well just extend your channel. I would expect us to come and test either this area here. You can see this zone that we've got here, and it's roughly there. So I'd expect us to come back to 165936. We get through that, I'd expect us to come through and test 165600. The thing to watch for, though, is a break below the low of yesterday, because that will set a much bigger play in motion, which is going to be a continuation of this move down. And this is a bearish crossover of the moving averages on the 8 hours. So that's kind of the play that I would rather be waiting for, is a break below 165053. Validates this flag, and then you've got a pretty solid move here, or potential, should I say. And it's going to be something like that, which takes us all the way back down to this area here. And if you look to the left, you'll see there's a lot of support there. So that would be 161170. So yeah, lots to watch here, but this is a long game. So pay very close attention on the higher time frames. Moving on to Euro British Pound, and we are sideways, no two ways about it. We keep sort of bouncing, keep coming back to this area down here, and they're not going anywhere. So I suspect we're probably going to do the same today. Nothing really going to happen above and below the moving averages all week now. So I'm really not interested in this pair. So we may get some kind of a bounce off here, rejection, but if we start dropping below the lows of yesterday at 086952, then we have a fairly strong possibility that we're going to drop a bit further, and that's just basically going to line up with the next bit of structure, which is down here at 086102. Anyway, that's it for me today on Forex. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you on Monday morning. Enjoy your weekend.